Yeah, good. So I'm teaming up with Michael Frost here, who's he's done. You've done quite a few commentary on matches along with John Joe. So I'm happy to be able to team up you for the first time and do some commentary.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we have a couple of great matches lined up. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. We've got we covered a few of them earlier today, and the group stage was it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to watch as many matches as possible. It was an exciting day, and it's set up to be. You did a video about the finals tomorrow, so it's going to be an exciting follow up tomorrow, I think.
Yeah, tomorrow's looking really exciting. I think we have a lot of top players going into the finals tomorrow. I think we're gonna have some really great matches. So I have a few picks of my own. I know a lot of people have been picking in the Discord their favorite player who's gonna win it all. So I'm very curious to see who gets it right.
Yeah, I'm super curious as well, and I've played a few of them, the top guys. So of course the Orbnet, and someone said my nickname sucked. I've played both of those. I've never won against Orbnet. And I've only played twice, but still, that's a bit. And then the nickname, he beats me most of the times now. So it's nice to see the leaderboard it's doing most of it justice. We've got a few maybe less active players that questionable whether they should be all the way at the top. But,
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think it's interesting, and the fact of the matter is it's who's the best player today, right? I think, who's the best player that shows up in the moment. So, the leaderboard says one thing, but you never know who actually wins that game on screen.
No, that's right. And plus the nerves come in a little bit as well when you start playing a tournament, and especially maybe in the group stage, at least you've got a couple of, you may have a second chance, but then it starts to get real in the finals, I think.
Absolutely. So what do we have here? What do you have here showing up?
Yeah, we've lined up another match here, and this one we haven't covered before, so it is Orbnet, who we just mentioned. So we'd like to say that it's the number one player in the world. He's number 2 on the leaderboard, but we've got a somewhat inactive players at the top. No discredit though, because he's got there for a reason as well. But we've got Orbnet here versus Hawke.
Absolutely, and Hawke he's no slouch himself, ranked number 16 in the world. Definitely one of the best out there. So this is a match between two veteran players for sure. I'm very curious to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, me too. Sure, it's going to be super exciting. So I've just we're gonna bring it back to real time here, and just did a brief pause. And we've got someone said my nickname is in the chat as well. Of course, nice to see you here. Glad to see you up.
Some of the competition, perhaps, take a look at their players. Let's see what kind of map we got.
Yeah, let's have a quick peek around. We've got so it's a mixed land sea map, and it's very how would you call it? Stringy?
I call it linear.
Yeah, linear. Okay,
these are
that's
lanes. I think we have a map of long lanes. So I think we have these bodies that are cut off by choke points. So these little choke points are going to matter. Controlling these lanes is going to matter. I'm going to be very curious to see what kind of forces they deploy to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just going to bring up the volume a little bit on the sound effects. And we see a central start here from Orbnet, and it's in this choke point. So that's pretty good. And should we have a peek as well where Hawke decided to go for? Ooh, that's a gutsy move to try to start on a smaller body. But he's got the energy.
He does. He's got energy, plenty of energy. He's put up 2 airfields right away, so I think he's going to rely on that reach. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a commando drop out of him.
Yeah, I don't really know Hawke's playstyle so much, so it's going to be interesting to see, and hope we'll see more of him tomorrow. And I see that a lot of the stuff, we've got an energy well here super close to the sea, so that would be reachable, and another one down here, so it's quite vulnerable in terms of energy resources, and I don't think there's that much more energy around, so I can certainly understand why this is attractive.
No, I think that's a very good start. In fact, I think with proper deployment of energy, I have to be very curious to see what the response is going to be from Orbnet.
Yeah, and we've got the classic double striker start, and I've seen that being competed sometimes, especially on a on a sea map like this, it could be very powerful unless the opponent is prepared and goes full in a missile ship.
It is an interesting start. I've seen people do the transport start as well, maybe go for something like that. But with this, it gives him a bit of an offensive option. Very curious to see when he chooses to deploy and how many strikers he chooses to build up first before he uses them.
Yeah, and then we'll see if we've got any sort of a counter. So we've got one airport here as well from Orbnet. And he's going full on expansion, I'd say. And he's got a little bit of money in the bank as well. So he's hitting his 2 initial barracks there. It's always a good play, I think, to do your prefabricated structures in the mountains. They come up straight away, don't get the build penalty. It's always nice to get them hidden.
100%. I think if that's an option, you always take that. I think it's interesting. He does keep a little money in the bank. That he doesn't spend everything right away. I think most players do. So that's something to note.
Here we go. First encounter, and he anticipated an aircraft. So it's even another missile ship is being produced right here. So he was anticipating some air.
It seems so. It would be the first thing to reach him. I suppose that's really good thinking on his part. I could see, good anticipation on Orbnet. I guess that's what you'd expect.
Yeah, for sure. And we've got a first land encounter as well, because Hawke sent a few troops over, and he quickly realized that. So they both know. I think, Orbnet doesn't exactly know where he started, but it's a pretty easy guess. The plane came from there. He's conquered over here. So.
Yeah, with all the energy over there, I think it's pretty. He's definitely got that locked in. I guess it's a matter of where the buildings are. You might assume the mountains, but even then, where in the mountains? Hard to narrow it down.
Yeah. Well, also what we found is these little hub islands can be really powerful. Now this one's pretty close to the mainland. If this was pushed out a little bit further, gaining control of that and putting some airports on there, it's often proving to be a real pain for the opponent. So.
Yeah, having that strategic reach is really makes a difference. It gives you just more options on the table, and options are counters when those openings happen. And the key moments to seize. And it looks like Orbnet is gonna go for that northern push there, trying to take that.
Yeah, he's realizing that Hawke only sent a few troops over, so there's absolutely no issues trying to eliminate those as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's
we've got a
always
defense
the
line
gamble.
coming.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
And they'll finish just in time. And and he's resupplying as well, which is pretty cool. So this encounter, and plus don't forget that you actually get a bonus if you do a defense lines in the mountains. So it's not just the entrenchment, it's also a bonus because you're in the mountains. So we might actually see a couple of blue infantry falling here from Orb.
Certainly, I think that was a really good timing on that defense line for him to get it up there. I think a lot of people might not have thought they could get it in time.
Yeah, and here comes some air support as well, and I don't think Orbnet has got nothing to do against those planes up here.
He's got something of his own coming up here.
It's still going to be tough, so I think it's just a matter of time. It's going to be maybe hold a little bit, but it's easy to resupply from here. Plus, he's got his own ships to come up and deal with those aircraft. But I think we've got Orbnet is going to have an issue with the energy. He's got a power plant, and those are only 1/3 as efficient as one of these refineries over here.
That is going to be a problem from him. He has a few options, but none of them are ideal. I mean, the closest energy well on land is on the tip of a peninsula, very vulnerable to attack on that location.
Yeah. Oh, and the missile ships just timed that perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, we had one explode out of the fog of war as well. And here's the next one.
Oh, he's going to get them all.
Yeah. It's like skeet shooting day.
Yeah. Just didn't quite get the flight path they needed to make it all home there. They could have made it out with one.
That's one of the tricky things. When you've actually... when you send the planes, you can actually send them on a route that you want. But as they come back, when you remove a command, they'll fly the shortest route home. So you can anticipate that if you counter with... so it was a good move there with the missile ships. We'll do a quick look at the economy, I think. We've got Orbnet is at 581 capital income, and Hawke is on 512.
Interesting. Okay. Definitely. Can we look a little south, see where Orbnet's going here? Yeah, he's pushing through. He's got plenty of space to go. And he has some energy wells as well coming up here in this direction.
Yeah, he's desperate in need of those, I think. There is another one in sea here, but it's not really necessary. You don't really want to spend the capital to build a shipyard, at least not at this point. Maybe you can send a ship around here later on to capture those. But I think we've got... Oh yeah, Hawke is not... he's not looking at that part. No crossings has been made so far here.
No, not yet. He did invest the crossing he could make in the north.
Yeah, let's have a quick peek. So that was... he lost that. It was expected.
It was. I think, Orb made a good call to just go in when he did. Even going against those defenses, I think he had the numbers to overwhelm those defenses still. And he knew that, there wasn't a lot up there yet. And if he had waited, they would have been reinforced. So
yeah, and resupplying that would just not work in the long run. So, we've got a couple of landings up here from Hawke. I missed that. That's a sneaky one. That's going to be tricky to maintain as well, because I think the strikers here will... Even if the command doesn't reach all the way, they'll do a little peripheral. I think he's actually sending them now, or he's trying to issue a command here, so we might see some strikers taking off there. This is interesting too. We've actually got 2 trade routes, or 3 trade routes, 4 trade routes. This is a super rich region here. We've got, on this inner sea, we've got a port is already coming up here.
And maybe that was the play from Orbnet. I think he may have thought that the energy on the other side was a tasty place for someone to kind of settle their spot. But the economic potential of this western side of the map is really high. So if he can put it together, he's going to be able to build a strong force even without a lot of energy, and he might be able to build it.
For sure, and the protection of these trade routes. I mean, if he owns this whole coastline, he's got some air support. It's going to be... trying to squeeze some submarines through here would be very difficult. Oh, Hawke is going straight for that refinery.
Yeah, like I said, it's a very vulnerable refinery. I really, really don't like building refineries on the coast because, it's just another option for them to get hit with is the Navy, It's another thing. Everyone wants your wells, and it's another way to get them, so...
Yeah, I think this is one of the most exposed wells I've seen in a while. So... It's like a magnet.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Sometimes you got to build it, though. You have to go for it.
Yeah.
He's going for it again, and I really don't blame him.
No, he needs it. Plus, he's got... he had the superior power now with 4 missile ships will beat a missile ship and a cruiser.
Certainly.
Especially with the air support that he's got locally here as well.
Yes, he should be able to hold that now, and... he does have just the need for it, and these are the moments when you gotta go for it, even if it's not ideal.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have an issue economic-wise here as well, because all of this is captured from Hawke now. And he really needs to, in order to keep building his economy, because there's not even any economic structures on this island at all, so he's desperate now to get off this.
That is true. Orbnet just needs to keep him there until he can outspend him.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a real increase now in the economy. It's just going to escalate now. Oh, he's building the internal shipyard here now to start capturing these. And I think he wants this energy well. I'm a little surprised that he doesn't go for that one first. But then, again, he's got these, so he's capturing the south ones here.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. But, I mean, he's making now 600 a minute. I mean, he's... his economy's starting to hit fire, and it's only going to pick up from here.
Yeah, we're seeing the total capital at 999 versus we're at 632, so it's a significant difference now. This is a real sense of urgency now from Hawke to try to do something.
He does have a moment here where he has, I think, more produced units on the field, perhaps. But he's going to have to put them together, now. But he is getting a good attack out there, but not. He's going to have to follow that up with landings.
Yeah, those strikers are cleaning up those explorers, so if you can follow up and maybe ship a few units across here and start counter-capturing, possibly. Because Orbnet doesn't have any producers all the way down here. These guys have a long way to walk to get there.
Yeah, they do.
But we've got another bunch of missile ships hasting up now to intercept those.
Oh, he wants them so bad.
Let's have a look how they do. Oh, they just barely, I think most of them are going to make it. Oh, one circling, it doesn't get the permission to land, so he got sent back out. It's from congestions, and now he spotted where the airport. And here you see the power of the hiding the stuff in the terrain here. Oh, I think we've got some more action going on here. I really like this inner sea here. It's a cool little space now for Navy and air.
It is. It makes everything very, very personal here. This is a knife fight.
Yeah. Oh, he's sending out the strikers now, even though there's 4 missile ships there. Oh, he cancelled the order, I think. Oh no, they're still out.
No. It's these short distances let everything come back so quickly. There's really no time to rest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the strikers are gonna... They're prioritizing those missile ships as well. They want to get rid of them. Oh, and this is a good prediction. He's already Orbnet's already moving the SAMs to the coast because I think he knows what's coming next. These, it's going to be within reach to get these shipyards here with the strikers. So if he can get the SAMs out there, they'll actually be able to protect those really well.
Yeah, I mean those SAMs are coming in right when they need to come in, and I think we might see an attempt with cruisers to counter Orbnet's navy. But he might be out. I think does he only have the last? Nope. He only
yeah, we've got the economy here. Hawke is struggling now with the economy, but he's got 3 shipyards. But the upkeep is going to start mounting. We've got a lot of repairing, and don't forget the repair costs as well of structures, especially. So the units, it doesn't cost anything to repair these planes. They just grounded for a while, so he's actually safe from that perspective.
He's got 1 lander up. He's got to get. He's not building any more landers right now. He's got to get troops on this other island here.
Yeah, he's starting to. He's relying on this short passage here. Maybe he can get this single troop ship across and start shipping. So I think he's producing another. He's starting to build up a few cruisers, and he's got 10 strikers. And when they're repaired here, so it's a really good anticipation here. And we've got a 3rd shipyard as well. So it's 3 versus 3 shipyards and 2 versus 1 airport. And a big economy versus a really strained one.
Yeah. It does look good for Orbnet the longer this goes on. And when you have strong economy, it puts you in that position where you don't need to win, you need to not lose.
Yeah, it's a matter of time.
Right. And though it's better if you can win too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always good. Well, let's have another look. I mean, just look at the figures, those in the green. 1254 for Orbnet, and we've got 656 for Hawke here.
Yeah, he's doubled the economy. At this point, you'd have to break the other person's economy down as well. It wouldn't be enough just to keep up anymore. You'd have to, counter the economy somehow.
Yeah, I think a good opportunity. He does have the energy advantage still, even if it's starting to run out as well. So even though it's important to maybe to get rid of these and just get a little bit of a foothold, I think there's an opportunity, or there was possibly, to rush. I mean, he's got the power to haste. So hasting in with the cruisers might be able to surprise attack this navy, but it's not going to be lasting for long. Because he's starting to build up the defenses, but he still has a theoretical shot to do it.
I think that's good. That's a good point. If he can spend that advantage and try to press it, he's gonna get his toehold at least. So he's gonna get on the island, which is the really, this is a really good step so far for him to break out of his homeland.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those cruisers, if you can flank here and haste it there, Orbnet is starting to gather. Let's see, has he captured it? He doesn't have that energy well yet. He's got a power plant. He's got this one's protected now, and he's got this one up now. So he's starting to slowly build, and he's got access to another one. Yeah, I can feel I mean, the upkeep now of everything that's just costing money here. This is a good, at least it's a good landing here. And there's not a lot of producers, but he's starting to counter down in south here. But this is going to be an interesting encounter now.
Yeah, I think we might see everything here. Navy and both air forces. This would be very interesting to see who comes out here.
Yes, indeed. Let's see, he's hiding a few SAMs here in the forest as well. I always like that. Make use of the terrain. So we're gonna see a strong. He's trying to protect his flank, and
Orbnet does not want to fight. You know, the bait here. I think that's smart of him. He doesn't need to. So he's gonna let Hawke, you know, push the fight here. And he's going to do it. So they're engaged.
Yes, so we've got a bunch of cruisers against missile ships, and very well placed to put these missile ships in protection so you don't lose them in the first encounter there.
Yeah, but here come the strikers out of Hawke. I think he might have wanted those there a little earlier, to be honest.
Yeah. Those cruisers are doing, and that's a whole bunch of SAMs, so if they even get close to that coastline, they'll be toast, a lot of them.
Oh yeah, that's way too much SAM now. But
yeah, that's a good exchange for Hawke here.
That is. He forced them out of the position. I think he can now claim the well, nice and safely.
Yeah, he could claim the well and start eating off of the shipyards. He's got the energy advantage still.
And he's got them pinned into that bay, so they can't really form up as they would want to do now.
No, this is a very vulnerable situation. We've got the energy warning there, but again, the economy is just building, and he's capturing. He's got trade routes going now. He's got 3 trade routes up. His economy is going to explode. So this is going to be probably too little, too late. I would have thought.
Yes, at a time he's just going to be able to spend that will and build anything to counter.
Yeah. And we've got a 4th shipyard up here as well.
Oh, he does, yep. Orbnet's just keeping the landing contested as well. He's not winning it, but he's keeping it contested. That's all he really needs to do.
Yeah, I think playing someone experienced and high level as Orbnet, if the roles were reversed, maybe if there was a lower rank, if you could rush in, eliminate this, there's, again, with such an energy advantage, you could really go all the way around and start wiping out the inside here, but it's just going to be too difficult. I think the economy is going to explode. But this is a very... I wonder what Orbnet is thinking about this, if he's just relying on the economy now, and if he's considering this to be an issue.
Maybe not. I mean, I think if Hawke could follow this up with a landing in the heartland of Orbnet's territory and start taking out economic buildings, I'd like to see that. And maybe, you know, he could. That's how he could use that advantage.
Yeah, certainly. We can have a look again at the economy, because it would be Orbnet is at 1684 versus 704, so it's still more than double the economy.
Yeah, almost 1,000.
So he's countering with submarines. He realizes that. So these are a little bit stealthy. I think that's a good move, because if Orbnet can just keep this landmass and these trade routes, it's going to be. He doesn't really need a strong navy, and he doesn't necessarily even need to invade this, because just with this amount of capital, you're not going to get anywhere. So submarines to protect this passage up here and start to maybe build up a submarine force to start eating away this. It's a really good move, I think.
Absolutely, I'm a fan of submarines. They are, you know, quite versatile, I think, because they have that option of not fighting. Which is an interesting option to have. Most units, you know, kind of have to do that. But this is, you know, interesting. He's trying to comb the coast with his navy, which is what I would recommend. And so he's being rewarded with that. He's finding that the economic building there is going to be able to peel that off. because
Yep.
you need to keep doing that kind of material. Though Orbnet's now got a lot of producers now down there in the south where he didn't before.
Yeah, and we're seeing some counter producers here, and he's not actually building. Oh yeah, I was gonna say he's not building sats, but I see why, because he's got a whole bunch of them here.
He built them.
Yeah, he came prepared. And I don't know if Hawke actually sees. He doesn't see that this one's built yet, because the stealth profile of a refinery is that usually you can see them very easily if they are built, even if they're a bit out in the fog of war. But since it's in the forest here, he thinks that it's not being built yet. But as he gets closer now, it'll reveal in just a moment here.
Very good stealth profile. Still.
Yeah, it's still hidden there. So, and it tricks you a lot. You think that okay, it's not really built there, but now it's just a matter of maybe a couple of both lengths.
I think he wants the naval support anyway.
There we go.
To help his landing. There it is.
Yeah.
Now let's go up.
Yeah, and plus he wants to get a good reconnaissance here to see what's going on in the forest. These ships will provide a lot of sight here.
Absolutely. Yep. Now he's getting vision. Producers, refinery. He's seeing the extent of it.
And we've got another airstrike up here. We should have a look at what sort of defenses Hawke has got. I was expecting a lot of SAM here.
Oh,
yeah,
they're quite a lot of them. Oh yes.
Oh, they're just dying. I think he's gonna lose all his strikers if he just flies. Yeah, I don't think a single striker is gonna make it back home.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, he's getting a visual on the rocket there as well. That's
good information.
Yep. But it's going to be nothing to. I was going to say, yeah. It's just to add to the fear factor, I guess, and go, okay, I need to act now.
Yeah. But it's good to know.
And I think so. I'm expecting an energy well is populated there. So he did build an internal shipyard that he self-detonated because he only needs it to ship a few units across and build upon that even already strong economy.
Yeah, just squeeze.
So we got a little submarine force starting to, and this is totally unknown to Hawke now. I'd be interested to be in the mind now of both players to see how the confidence level is, because sometimes. You feel a bit of confidence. I mean, he's got a navy, and he can only assume, I guess, that this is a problematic. It's a lot of dollars in here.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, you have to know. That they built and expanded out into that territory you can't see. So, and he knows that he's got the forces. So, I'd be interesting to know. He does have a toehold, right? He has a piece of territory there.
Yeah.
Not quite able to advance quite yet, but the Navy is strong. I mean, I think he has to recognize that is his opportunity, though.
Yeah, I think again, I would be if I was in Hawke's shoes, in desperation as well. I would likely even build more. Oh well, he doesn't have any money, so. To make use of the Navy, these are costing a lot of money by not doing anything, so they should really be doing some work. Because you should probably sense that there's going to be something happening up here.
To be honest, if I always recommend combing the coast when you have a naval advantage, which he did do to the south. And he got some reward for doing so. I think he should have kept going north. And I thought he was about to do that. But he's right back south here.
Yeah, because this coastline as well. And this inner sea is just, I mean, the amount of capital that's just generated from these.
Right.
It's just you have to, okay, so he's already anticipating it. So there's absolutely no chance now anyway to get through. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cruisers. We've got a finished rocket now.
Already, his shipyard's being attacked by the submarines.
Oh yeah.
He's got kind of a wolf pack already going. But yeah, if he with that naval advantage, you want to comb the coast, find those shipyards, because you're going to find those naval bases or those submarine bases. Earlier on, you're going to find the those economic buildings. That naval advantage is good at really shutting down the coast. You can really use it to punish people if you can defeat their navy earlier on, which he did.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a dilemma as well, what happened here, because even though he lost the shipyards, all 3 of them, and the ships, it's a bit ironic because what happens in Hawke's case is that he's stuck with a lot of still heavy costing units. And at the same time, all the upkeep is freed up from those structures. So it's a bit ironic that you can just shift and you see reinvested in submarines and just shift some tactics and then focus on the other stuff, and you can afford a rocket. He's not even had to launch that yet. And already
a defensive rocket. I don't think it can reach quite far enough.
Yeah, that's true actually.
But he can hit the Navy.
Yeah, it's actually a very. I'm quite surprised how defensive it was. I'm not sure how we expected. Maybe I probably would have put it because with this amount of SAM, he couldn't really touch it so much anyway. But looking at the economy, I don't think I've seen figures like this high for a long time.
No, I mean it's
incredible.
This map definitely placed a lot of economic power on the west side of the map, and Orbnet has got all of it.
Yeah.
Trying to get an advance out of Hawke, challenge for this peninsula, but getting the strikers moving as well out of Orbnet.
Yeah, we got a lot of SAM. I don't think he saw that, but it's. I don't think he's too bothered with it now. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot more money where that came from, and here we got.
He is going to strike the Navy. There it is. Oh, and he's moving ships into it, unfortunately. Oh, wait, he's not striking the Navy. He's going for the producer. All right. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, it's quite gutsy flying all the way across all of the missile ships and into a forest full of SAM. That could have just might as well gotten shut down. But I mean, look at this. This is a sign of that you think that your economy is so strong you hardly even need to think. It's just a matter of time. And I think from tournaments for the future as well, we will introduce new win conditions, because you get to a point where that I think I said in the last. Sometimes the hope is the last thing to leave.
Yeah.
but it's difficult, especially in a tournament as well. You want to fight into the last, but I think. Because Hawke doesn't necessarily know, you can only sort of estimate. He doesn't see this, but right now I think the realization is hitting.
Yeah, might need a referee or something like that.
Yeah.
But that'd be too a lot of people to be. But I think it's pretty clear from our perspective. I think where the game is. But I think Orbnet I think he picked a good spot at the beginning. I really think that a lot of the game came down to early positioning right from the start.
And I think if you're going to start with the energy, that has to be your ace up the sleeve. You have to go for your advantage with having a lot of energy, sweeping the coast on haste, eliminating anything that you can see. I think that's the only potential key to success. And we're going to see... Yeah, this is the final invasion coming now, and I understand there was no rush for Orb to start shipping units across earlier. It was just the economy was going to take care of itself, I think.
Yeah, and he has a very small gap he can protect in the north. He can just kind of cross everything at. He can kind of take his time. I think it works well for him. Like you said, I think with the wells, you got to push that advantage early with the Navy landing, maybe with more producers, making tanks on the other side, trying to really use whatever gas guzzlers you can.
Yeah.
But now that's the naval came though. He nuked.
Yeah.
He nuked the Navy.
And here we go, full scale invasion going on now. So I'll put on 4 times speed. We'll just see the final moments here. So both Orbnet and Hawke are going to be in the finals tomorrow. So Orbnet is very highly ranked, and you said the Hawke was 16, was he?
Yes, Hawke is also very highly ranked. I think I think he just got caught out a little bit in this game, but
sure.
But it's also easiest for us to say it here, when it's a lot harder when you're sitting in the chair trying to do it yourself. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think very well played, and let's see, we've got there's the end. That was just the sound of that launch was that was it. But yeah, great game, fun to watch. So interesting. I really like this interior sea. They offered a lot of navy and air action, I think.
I agree. Yeah, they made it really into a close quarters kind of fight, and the early action was really back and forth, very quick, very very heated in exchange. So I really liked it.
Yeah, and it's fun to see a few trade routes as well going up. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So I think that was an incredible. Again, even 24 a minute. So I think incredible. Nice. Well, that was fun. I think we've got. We should do one more map as well. So
yeah,
just give me a moment to load that one up. And this will be available on to watch after the stream as well. I think sort of unannounced, but hopefully we can find some more people that are interested to watch this, and especially before the finals. So tell your friends.
Oh yes, I think there's going to be at least 16 players I know of that are going to watch these videos.
Yeah. Trying to get a little bit of sense of what tactics are going. We covered one of the nicknames matches before, and he's got some really nifty moves. I think that will become more and more common. I think some of the moves that he's pulling.
Oh, for sure. I think there's definitely some kind of themes that go through the community sometimes, where this strategy gets popular for a little bit, this strategy gets popular for a little bit. So I like to see when players influence that.
Yeah, and it's funny how like you say, it's like fashion nearly. It's like double airport that's the winner, and triple airport, no, tank pushes now, and then RT blobs, and it's going to be commandos are coming back into fashion.
Yeah, I remember for commandos were the hottest thing on the block for a little bit, and it was just annoying because just invisible troops all over the place for both sides. It was a mess.
Yeah.
Just everyone stealth attacking each other. It was terrible.
Yeah, it's a tough one to fight against, because when you start hearing that suppressed fire, you go,
the worst sound. You're like, no.
And then you have to pinpoint where am I hearing this, because you cannot ignore it. When you hear it, it's there somewhere. Just pretending it's not there is not going to work.
I just look at my oil wells. I'm like, where are my oil wells?
Yeah, and they'll start. They got this big cascade of fire, so they're easy to spot when they're starting to be under attack there.
Oh, this is an interesting map here.
Oh yeah, it's a big land map, and it's no islands. It's a little bit of economy out here, and we should mention as well, this is Athena versus Lackey.
Yep, and they both picked in the middle, which I'm not surprised. These land maps, everyone kind of knows the deal here. The middle is the best spot, just so you can expand out and conquer everything, which tends to mean, in my experience, on these big land maps, people spawn right next to each other.
Yeah, it's very common. We'll probably see it. Yeah, here we go. As you anticipated, we're getting a pick north of. So Athena's going north. With a lot of economy in the north, so it's going to be a bit of a... Yeah, I'd see. Plus, you have to account for the perspective as well. So it's actually a lot more territories up here than there are down here.
That is
true. The perspective is actually playing... it's easy to forget.
The north-south divide is definitely one to think about, and I think that's where Athena's looking. Yep, they're spotting each other right away. Let's see the reactive order, see if they change anything. I like to see when people just instantly delete as soon as they see the other line.
We had a very similar start. We got an airport and 3 factories from Laki, and Afina, it's got very similar. So going for tanks and helicopters, is it? I think
Seems so. Tanks and helicopters. I'm not opposed. I like it.
No. Yeah. That's another unit that the helicopters have been in and out of fashion too, and I think a lot of the higher tier players are seeing them as very essential now.
Yeah.
But then when the SAMs are starting to come, you have to either move them somewhere else. But they're powerful. You can just reallocate them somewhere else.
If you can move them around, the helicopters are just very versatile because they're, it's hard to keep all your SAMs on every front, and the helicopters can just move faster than the SAMs, right? So if you're good with them, if you can move them around, they can be very, very, very powerful. But we'll see how they get used here. Getting a little kind of infantry fight for the open ground first.
Yeah, and these early skirmishes are quite important. So you never want to end up in a situation where you've got you want to bunch your units together, because we've got 3 versus a lot now. But I guess he's anticipating this helicopter here to help out. So we're probably going to see a switch to SAM here as soon as possible. And here you're getting outnumbered. This is very dangerous. You have to pull back those troops. These we've got 6 against 3. You'd really have to retreat those units as soon as possible.
We got the scout tanks going out and around, which is another popular thing that's in fashion right now. Sending out scout tanks.
Indeed.
Yeah, and
very dangerous move though, with knowing that there are helicopters here.
That is true. That is true. That is the bane of the tanks. Maybe he wants to see what he can see. Maybe he thinks he can find that airport fast.
Yeah, he nearly snuck an arc around. Not that he would have known where the fog of war, but here we go. Helicopters are straight heading for those tanks. So we've got Lackey doesn't actually know that there is any air. Well, he's spotting the first helicopter now. But...
Another helicopter up in the air. Gonna look for those tanks, add a little bit of vision to the area.
Oh yeah, actually they have managed to hide a little bit in the mountains here. So a single helicopter doesn't actually see that well.
That's right, especially in the mountains. They have a little trouble there, and then here we go. Able to find a mark here. The second helicopter.
Yeah, 2 helicopters. Yeah. So he's scouting with them, I think. Oh yeah, he's very low, Athena, on energy. That's why he cannot haste them.
Ah, there it is.
He was actually on his initial... He pushed the tanks all the way down there on his initial energy. That one just started getting operational. So that was a gutsy move. That's why he didn't haste them.
Yeah, that's a brave thing to do. That's very brave thing to do.
Yeah, I like it. I like it starting with double tank build and helicopters and waiting that long with the energy.
I can just use this little bit of energy to start with. That's all I need.
We've got some SAM being produced here. That's a smart move to try to counter those infantry there with the helicopters. They're unprotected from air, I think.
Yep, and got their own helicopters up now as well. From Athena's side. Dealing with those infantry. They are both doing some good expansion out as well, getting their respective territories. How are the economies right now? What do we got?
Yeah, let's have a look. So Lackey is at... Oh, he's got no energy. Just a brief mention. He's not actually built an energy or a refinery. So his helicopter is going to run out of energy in just about 5 seconds. But let's have a look at the economy. Like you said, 392 for Lackey, and Athena is on 428. So Athena is ahead. Plus, he's got a lot more expansion room.
And energy.
And energy.
And energy. So that's the early story so far. Is it seems like Athena, the early exchanges I think have been largely inconclusive, but the economy's on Athena's side.
Yeah, I think we see this in some games as well. When you start like this, where you're cornered, sometimes it can be a benefit because you try to focus as much power as you can forward to just because like you can only send a few guys maybe to capture this and then focus everything forward. But with this is a very passive play, and it only gives more time for Athena to expand. And already the offense is coming more from Athena's side, I think. Got a few, and these are gonna get eliminated as well. So the little force that he had up there is gonna be gone.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people it can be scary to commit to just rushing someone down at the beginning of the game like that. But I've used it. I've seen other people use it. Sometimes it's necessary to just put that pressure on from the start and try to make that early bet. Especially, you can see people are betting on that, even just that early energy that they have without having anything left. Sometimes you gotta, if you can bet it on a direct attack early on and get some results out of it, maybe that's what you need.
Yeah, I think there would be a pure panic mode here.
Yeah.
And we've got Lackey's had some possibility to expand up to the east here. And I don't think Athena hasn't even seen a single producer. I think this is another showcase of how effective it is to put the producers in the mountains, because that's the first site that he's even got of one star. And here they come.
There's one. Yep. Finally, just on the edge. Now, here they come.
Artillery shooting from the mountain. That's pretty cool. I like that.
That's a great visual.
Yeah.
I do like when you can kind of build your defenses into the natural terrain like that. You get those really great kind of cinematic moments of the armies attacking up the mountain or something like that.
Yeah,
the artillery
certainly.
firing down.
I think we're gonna lose one of the producers here now, so the tanks managed to push through. It's very interesting how they went for such a similar start. Just on the ridge, it's nearly like they knew what they were doing. No, well, not that sounded weird. Of course, they know what they're doing. Like they knew what the other one was doing. That's what I was meant to say.
Yeah. Well, I think they wanted that. They wanted the mountain bonus without having to travel through the mountains for too long. And they both did it real close to each other.
Yeah.
But the energy, the economy, certain went to Athena's way. So I think it's an advantage. And now,
yeah, I think we can. I think it's just going to be losing all the start producers now. So I'm fast forwarding a little bit here. I think we can see where this is going now. It's going Athena's way everywhere at the moment.
Yep. Lackey.
Even an outpost down here. Those early tanks that actually did survive. I didn't think they'd last with those helicopters. They actually managed to create a south outpost. So not even this region Lackey gets to keep.
Yeah, which we've seen in other games here. People either choosing to or not choosing to make these kind of proxy bases behind enemy lines. I think they're very, very powerful. If you can get tanks or commandos or whatever kind of scout behind enemy lines and set up proxy bases behind their territory, a lot of people won't see it coming.
No, and it's sometimes when you see something sneaking past, then you think, okay, well, I'll deal with that later. But by then it's usually too late, because they do establish a base and we've got some commandos there. But I think this is I mean, there's absolutely no return now for Lackey to get back from this. Anything he builds is just getting shot down. Trying for and I don't blame. I mean, you have to try at least, but it's just a matter of times before those new producers will be detected and eliminated. So
yep,
interesting.
In a tournament, you wanna pull out all the stops you can to try to win the tournament. So these are true, as you call it, say lion warriors.
Yeah.
trying to pull out the win here. But Afina definitely was able to, we've said it, establish the position early on, which is true for a lot of players, and then build out the right kind of economy for the moment. I think in this case, they only needed a little bit of energy, but that made all the difference.
Yeah, and the expansion then as well, that it was just open for the taking in the back. So I think there's an incredible amount of cash there. So it was a tricky situation, I think, for Lackey from the get-go. An early, super early, very hard aggression, I think, would have been the only key to try to do the opposite and knock out this front of producers instead. Then it could have been a whole different story. Early energy and early tank rush and helicopter support to go there could have maybe worked, but it's then again, he had no clue that that's where he started, so it's easy for me to say.
Well, that's always the challenge, right? Is not knowing what the other person knows. That's the whole. I mean, it's half the game, I guess, right? You have your half, and they have the other half. So
for sure. So that was 2 matches. Should we do one more, or are you up for another one?
Let's see. Do we have another interesting one? Who else do we got lined up?
Let's see.
Anyone that's gonna be in the games tomorrow, perhaps?
Yeah, let's have a look. I've got the replay list here, so let's have a look what we've got. So we covered a few on the stream before. Yeah, nickname we saw earlier. We've got
either maybe anything from Animorph, Valathor. Have we seen Haako? I think we've seen Haako.
not Haako we haven't seen, and Valathor we haven't seen. So I'm not sure which. We haven't been able to vet these once before, so it's a bit tricky to know which.
I think they're just saying, "Don't pick me, don't show me."
Yeah, there's probably some really cool. It's funny that while the group, so funny to see what all of this in hindsight, to see what was going on while the scores were coming in and things, and just to know that all these different maps are being played and all these different exchanges and the swings, and it's really exciting to take a part of it afterwards.
It is. It's one of my favorite parts about Line Wars. Is the fact that you could go back and kind of study what happened, and I think that's one of the best ways to get better. Is to go back and watch your own footage and see the choices you made versus what other people make.
Yeah, I agree, and it's funny, all the way through developing Line War, when me and Basantas have played a lot. We played probably 600-700 matches or something through a couple of years, even from when there was only a tank in the game. But the amount of times we ended up speaking about a game, we could spend like half an hour just speaking about what happened in a game, like the swings and important decisions that you should have or shouldn't have made. So.
Absolutely. Do we have one lined up?
I'm just looking. We got a Haako match here versus Diedland. Maybe we should look at that one. Diedland is not in, but I don't think we've got another one where we've got two of the players that are in the final, or so do we? Yeah, let's just pick that one.
Got a Haako match. All right.
Yeah, I got a Haako match. Yeah.
A classic. He's been playing since the demo, right? I believe ranked 26th in the world as we stand today.
Yeah, I've played him a few times. Actually, surprised me a couple of good moves. Like you mentioned before, with I think he was a pioneer with the commandos, as you mentioned.
Yes, I remember playing him early on, especially when the community was a lot smaller, and you play a lot of the same people over and over. He's one of the people who is probably the most inventive and consistent with good use of those commandos. But I haven't seen him in recent days, so we'll see what he pulls out here.
Oh, true. Yeah, I haven't played him in a long while either. I played him on one of my streams on my Infancia channel, and I was going to show off the game to my audience who are not really strategy players. And then I took a hard beating from him. He actually did one of those starts similar to what just happened here, but it was the opposite. He started at the end of a map, and I was taking for granted that I'll just build the economy and crush him. But he was so aggressive, and he snuck past with those commandos, and just he totally surprised me, and pulled out a big win.
That's what he can do. Let's take a look here at this map. We have a big starting zone here in the middle, a ton of energy all over the place. Yeah. I mean, what is that? 6 at the top, another 4 or 5 at the bottom.
And we've got some economy up here by the coast. We've got a city, we've got town, another city up here, another town. A lot of energy. South, we've got a little bit less economy and a little bit more difficult to capture this all the way over here, but a lot of economy down here as well. See, we've got 3 cities and a whole bunch of energy. This is I don't know, it's like Christmas Day or something.
No, this is a rich economy zone, so no one should have any problems building economy. Oh, they spawn right next to each other.
Oh, this is a tricky start. Oh, so Diedland. Oh no, I feel this is cornered.
Oh, that is not a great day for Diedland. I mean, the positioning there is that's a struggle.
Yeah.
But he's got resources.
he's got definitely resources, and again, I mean, you should not. I mean, there is ways out of it. Oh, this is interesting. He's even got the. I didn't even realize he built the producers so close there.
Yeah.
So,
he's gonna go for the rush.
Yeah, and they don't know, so he can see a whole bunch of units here, so he can probably anticipate something. So there's I think the stress already on Diedland's like, oh, what have I done? I'm in the corner.
Yeah, I think it's already in his mind. You already think, wow, I have to get around these guys. That's really my thought in here. It's like I don't want to get pinned in. You know,
Yeah.
how do you break out? Very tough spot. He built all of his producers in the field. Also, I think always thinking about the instant builds. Thinking about putting those in the mountains is always something to consider. You know, you don't have to pay the 50% build penalty for those, or the forest as well.
Indeed, yeah, I think, and the opposite has happened here from Haako. He knows that that just a bonus, and he's already spotted 2 of these because they're at the fringe of the fog of war. And as soon as he starts to move a few units up, all of those other ones will plop out. So he'll have a perfect read, whereas Haako has hit all of his. So in fact, Diedland doesn't even know necessarily that there's going to be anything here. He could be over here for all he knows. Now he knows that there's an airport there.
Yeah, and it's a lot of open territory behind Haako, so I think, Diedland does have an opportunity to get around Haako and try not to get pinned in. The producers are a bit exposed, but if, he can maintain some kind of supply line around him, he could try to break out.
Yeah, and I think Haako's already got a read on all of those 4 buildings, and you can see a SAM is being produced here. And that's a must. But even though there was a lot of energy up here, I don't think it's going to be very difficult for Diedland to do anything with that energy. And it's also interesting to see how much is being spared here. So Haako he's cautious not to overspend conquering, because that could be the Achilles heel sometimes. You try too hard to go for too many conquerors. Sometimes it's better just to take the time and focus on not letting this getting too strong to push back.
No, that's true. I think investing that one barracks there and then just letting it, trickle soldiers out over time is, I think, just a good investment. You can kind of drop it, know that you save something in the bank that'll benefit you in the future. Though we are seeing a bit of an attack on it by Diedland, perhaps.
Yeah, and we see this white outfit here under the armor. That means that there is a classic Haako. We're gonna see a commando coming out of there soon.
That's right.
But,
he's gonna imagine he sneaks just by even the little bit that Diedland has and establishes a proxy base about it.
Yeah, I'm very surprised he didn't go straight for that barrack though. I think maybe he's assuming, that the infantry will take care of it. Because he wants to recon a little bit with the tank to find the rest of the producers. I guess that's a pretty smart move, but...
Oh, already facing the commandos there. Artillery putting in some good damage out there, pushing on to Diedland's producers.
Yeah, those 4 being able to operate there in unison.
Yeah, that's the danger, right? Once artillery starts working together like that, it becomes very hard to counter. You need to get helicopters up. You need to get either usually some kind of air support or your own artillery block.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's you can manage to reproduce, or you can produce enough artillery to fight back. The problem is they'll pop out one by one, and then 4 or 5 artillery like this, or even 6, they don't live for long, and then they just chew them off one by one. He will take out that barrack, and he's doing some desperate scouting. He still hasn't found much from Haako. He's done a really good job to hide it up here.
Yeah, it's something to think about. Though I think some players might have guessed that he would build in the mountains over time, but I think this one is also such a small area that I could definitely see it being skipped over as well. Sometimes with these mountains don't give you a lot of room, but I've seen players cram a lot of buildings into very small mountains before. Some people get tricky with how they kind of stitch together the buildings.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common these days, especially to really pack up a strong production center somewhere that is hidden. And because for the opponent, you don't really know, is it 1, is it 2, is it 3, is it even 4 factories or something? And you really have to scout to find that out. And I'm very surprised at this. I wonder if this was intentional or not. Because a power plant right next to, maybe it was the fact that it wasn't captured. Because they are so inefficient. And maybe, again, he's considering he only needs to power 1 tank.
Yeah,
So.
it might be. It might be that, but I think he also he put that back there. I think just to try to keep it out of the front line, and all the other energy wells are so close to the front line.
Yeah.
There's even that one energy well up there though. If he could have snuck any unit up there to capture that territory, that could have been worth it. And
yeah. And sometimes it is possible that might have been just outside. Oh, we're here. Do you hear that sound?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, let's spot where it is. It's right up here already, yeah.
Yep.
So this is, he's starting to get a visual now. That's a terrifying sound. That's not what you want in this case.
Whenever you hear that sound.
Yeah. He's getting a bit of a conquering over here, though. At least that's not to be forgotten. Plus, he did sneak away with a tank a long way here.
That is true. That is true. And you know what? Maybe his intention is to build a proxy base. He's saving up a little bit of money. So he's not spending it, which might be wise. Put down something, try to build a surprise. There's good. We saw there's good economy out in that region too.
Indeed, and he also managed to fight off that commando, and it's smoking, but it survived.
Hey, listen. This the wisest words I've ever heard of Venzia. The only hit points that matter are the last ones.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. But again, we should actually mention as well, because maybe not everyone is aware of this, but as this repairs itself now, that actually costs money. So even damaged buildings are quite important to be aware. So sometimes I've heard, when you do airstrikes or bombing runs and stuff. Oh, we got some smoke puffs here.
Just to hurt all the buildings a little bit? Yeah,
because even if you don't knock them out, it will cost the opponent money to repair them. So it's not a wasted run just because you didn't get that last hit point, even though it's, of course, nice to be able to totally destroy it.
Just ruining my good line there, because you just disproved the whole concept.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No.
My bad.
No, but that's good to know. I think that's an interesting even thing to think about, right? Maybe you even want to try to do that on purpose, right? Try to hurt as many buildings just a little bit, and then harass that way.
Yeah, it's actually an interesting situation building up now, because we've got the barrack is gone from Haako, and we've got a barrack here from Diedland instead.
That's true.
Another
Scout
I guess
tanks.
It is. Oh, we've got some helicopters. Scout, yeah, and they're struggling with the energy here. It's funny how he's anticipating that there's going to be something up here. But maybe he gets to keep this power plant. Maybe it was actually a mastermind move, because he would have revealed that there was a factory up here. So he's actually scouting for it. And maybe he'll go, no, it's not there because I haven't seen it. But as soon as he gets a peek from the fog of war there, then he'll know. So it's going to be interesting.
He's trying to hunt that energy. He knows it's got to be... Well, he thinks it's got to be one of the wells.
Yeah, but he might... Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he spots it or not.
I think he is confused why he doesn't see it yet.
Yeah. So that was... I'm actually... Because for sure, if it was an energy... If it was a refinery there, he would have seen it. So
that's big. He turned away.
Yeah. So I eat my own words then. That was actually a mastermind move now.
Yeah.
So he placed it as far away as possible where it could maybe remain. So I stand corrected there actually. And he only needed to power this. Where is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Those Haako. What happened? Oh yeah, sorry. I was looking at the wrong color. So he's capturing. Here's a lonesome. He's got a casual time in this little canyon there. Oh, sneaky. Oh, he's... let's see. So we were looking at Diedland. I'm getting confused now.
Yeah. No, Haako does not have vision on the little power plant in the back.
No.
The little power plant that could.
Yeah, that's right. It's even fully loaded. You can see it doesn't... It's produced everything that it needs to.
That thing's working.
Yeah.
Rook, yeah.
I love it.
A single tank by the one power plant is the new OP strat. So
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, OP power plants are OP. That's gonna be the new thing.
Yeah. The new fashion.
They were actually OP once back in the day, before we had to nerf them down to 1/3 power, because you could build it like a massive hidden power plant on a little island somewhere that no one knew.
Well, I guess the thing about I think Haako's gonna find it. But the thing about them is
He's still not spotted it.
Oh my goodness, the stealth is really good on them. That's what.
They actually, I think they don't actually have the stealth profile, but the fringe of the fog of war is right there.
Okay. They just
so
don't
it's
show up in
literally.
fog of war.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm so
goodness.
curious.
Okay. Now I feel like they're kind of good though.
Yeah. Yeah, they have their purpose. They were they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
But this is it's always tough to lose your home producers. So you always feel like you're one step behind, even if you manage to escape like this. You can feel that it's you're always like trying to chase, and then they come. Here we go, the helicopters. I don't think he spots them yet. Oh, there we go. Maybe he missed it.
Oh well, the buildings see it.
Yeah, he's seen it. He's seen it, but
he was turning away too. He was gonna turn, and the building is what saw it.
Yeah, and whatever this produces is just gonna walk out and shoot it by default.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
he's just about saving. I think.
F's in the chat for this little for the little producer there.
Yeah, so he's got some expansion going here. So. I mean, it's a tough situation because you can sort of feel that, all of this is exposed and you lose the ground, but you do have this and you've got some room for expansion, but it's always difficult to come back, and he's going to lose this factory here as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Factories. Oh, there it goes. F's in the chat, boys.
Yeah, you did a good job there, reducing that energy.
Yeah, I mean, those energy wells are always a gamble because they're out in the open, but sometimes you got to dare to defend them, and just in this hope that the use of it is going to justify the risk, of its exposure. And sometimes you can, maybe, because then you can build a few more tanks, you can put up a few more helicopters.
Yeah.
But,
and here's... Oh, sorry, yeah. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, it's just that starting position, right? It's got kind of trapped up there. I think he was really hoping he was going to be able to conquer those and have space and room to use them, and wasn't expecting to be so close to Haako.
And this is just not gonna. It would take forever to build the economy up here and try to. And again, I understand it's a tournament and you try to do it, but all of this uncontested. Plus, he doesn't have any visuals there now. And this is a trick. Sam doesn't have the reach, so the artillery is just gonna shoot those down. So it's. Let's have a look at the economy. It's 464 for Haako. And funny enough, it's the economy for Diedland is actually a lot stronger. But the problem is he can't defend any of it. So
he's captured a lot of territory.
Yeah. Which is quite impressive that he managed to sweep down and conquer all of those. But I heard more suppressed fire, and even the artillery that was here was getting attacked by commandos.
Yeah, I think, he swept down and pushed really well. And I think we kind of talked about this, that he didn't want to get pinned in. And I think almost in a way, in an ironic fashion, he focused too much on not getting pinned in. He over succeeded in that. Because he didn't actually fight the war.
You can see like a trail of of captures that just are going to fade back into to losses.
Yeah, and each one of those is kind of a double gain for Haako, right? Because he's taking the economy away and getting it himself. So he's going to turn that around fast enough. He should be able to take the lead here. Yeah.
We can fast forward this section and just see how it plays out, because I would have expected Haako's economy to start going back now. So we've got the helicopters, we've got a lot of units, so these are going to be able to sweep across later on.
And now Haako is going to get uncontested use of that energy as well. So
yeah, the
we
economy and the energy, and especially the energy here, is going to be. And he's going to be able to, send the helicopters as he wish with the energy, haste them anywhere. There we go.
No, I don't think Blair that he can eco up in time. It's too much land. He has energy advantage. He has kind of everything his need. Haako has everything he needs on his side to add economy here.
Yeah, and I think the only way that this outpost thing works is if you can defend, even to an extent where you don't lose it, and then then you can have a two-front. But I think let's have a look. It's 1466 for Haako and 7, so it's swung. It's the opposite now. Just in a matter of about 5 minutes or so, it swung to the total opposite. Right,
and in those situations, as you said, you don't need to win. You just need to not lose. You need to be able to defend the territory. I think if the buildings had been placed inside the mountain, maybe it might have been a bit more defensible. He could have held in the mountains, maybe held in the forest, kind of make it more of that type of battle. But it's difficult to do. Even in the best of circumstances. So I still commend him for holding out as long as he did.
Yeah, and I think you've got a very good point. If those would have been there, first of all, the visual to find them, and then second, he did hold out quite a long time with them. You see a lot of scars here in the ground from that fight. So if they would have been there, it could have been a different story.
He could still be there right now. It might still be bad, but he might still be fighting, and that's what you would need in this situation for the outpost to really start doing his job.
Yes, indeed, and these type of build-ups. So I did hear a rocket being produced somewhere. I would have thought, So that's Haako's final piece of the puzzle here.
Yeah, so these little lanes are, they're just easier to defend, so it'll take longer to push through. Haako won't have any problem doing it, but it's just going to take time.
Yeah, and that's where the rocket does come into very good. This is a perfect use of the rocket. It was designed even to end the game a little bit faster, because you have one player that's very superior in terms of economy. He can afford the rocket, and it's just otherwise this could have held out for long. This could have easily been another half an hour without rockets, and if someone refuses. But I think when these start to bomb in, then you sort of know that I'm not going to make it.
Oh, very well placed rocket, right on the airport. And then we'll get the GG. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
All these games just remind me the importance of hope you're all right there.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No problem. These games remind me of just the importance of starting position, the importance of kind of building, making the right choices in building, and so it's hard to know sometimes with the right choices because you're starting blind at the beginning.
Yes.
And Benji was deeply considering my words as always. Very thoughtful, and I appreciate the thought. No, that's why I can fill in for a little bit. But I think what we saw here is the importance of making those choices. We mentioned early on how Diedland would want to not get pinned, how he wanted to break out. Again, I think he was almost overly successful. We saw him drive a whole scar of his territory across the map, which, while impressive, I think left him in a weakened tactical position back home. And also the early placement of the buildings exposed, I think, just hastened the battle up there. I think he could have slowed it down if he had built them in the mountains, which he did have the opportunity to do. Just a couple of things to think about in your next game of Line War.
Yeah, sounds good. So thanks a lot, everyone, for tuning in and watching. We're going to be streaming some more matches tomorrow. And, of course, the finals are coming tomorrow, so that's going to be exciting to watch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The few big matches I just want to make note of is we're going to have Orbnet in there, who's, of course, kind of the top seed to maybe win the tournament. He's facing off against Phylas. We might see him in round 2 facing off against Nickname, but Nickname, in order to do that, is going to have to get through Athena. And we saw Athena do really well today, so we'll see if these big matchups can happen. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to find out.
Indeed. So thanks a lot for watching, and catch you all tomorrow. Have a good one.